What's up, guys? It's Arleman. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about Honkai Third Impact. This is a anime style action RPG waifu collector. Combat is similar to games like Bayonetta or Devil May Cry. It is by MiHoYo. It is available on iOS devices via the App Store or Android devices via the Google Play Store. It can also be played via emulator, Nox, BlueStacks. I'm playing it right now with Mumu, MU, not Mimu. It can be played on Mimu as well, but Mumu has really good controller support and doesn't come with any Trojans like LD Player. Anyway, so we got some great news the other day. Honkai Third Impact is going to PC. There's a PC client that is going to be coming out on December 26th, just a few short weeks away, with official native controller support, which is going to be awesome. The reason why I wanted to make this video was I started playing Honkai Third Impact at launch, and to be honest, it was kind of hard to get into. I came back a couple times over the years. I've been back now for about 6 months, and the game has changed dramatically. So with the PC release on the horizon, we're going to have a whole influx of new players, and I kind of wanted to give them just 10 relatively simple, timeless tips to make their experience better. Likewise, if you're returning to the game after a long hiatus, these tips will hopefully be helpful for you as well. I highly recommend that if you haven't played Honkai Third Impact for a while, to make a new character to start over, unless you've invested a significant amount of money or time in the game. With that said, I'm going to run through these tips real quickly, and I'm going to be going over each one individually. Hopefully this won't take too much of your time. So my number one tip is read the tutorial. Like, seriously guys, read the tutorial, because there are so many gameplay modes in this game, and they're all interconnected, and they've done a really good job of separating them out and fleshing them out with the tutorial, that as long as you're paying attention, you really don't ever get lost. But I know a lot of people tend to skip dialogue boxes without reading them, and this game doesn't really give you an easy way to go back and redo tutorials. So do yourself a favor, cool your jets, read the tutorial, okay? You'll thank me later. Second tip is know your unit wheel, know your elemental wheel, as it were. There are 3 types of units, as well as a 4th type. Let me explain. So each one of your Valkyries, just like each one of the enemies, fall into one of 3 characters. You have Mecha, denoted by the blue symbol with a little machine face. You have Biologic, which is denoted with the orange text and the little orange face. And then you have Psychic, which is denoted by the pink text and the little pink face. Mecha units, mecha enemies are pretty obvious, the robots. Biological units are pretty obvious, they're humanoids or zombies. And psychic units are generally fall into the Honkai realm. Now, there is also another elemental type called Quantum. Currently, Sele is the only character that is a Quantum type. Now, Quantum, they don't fit into the elemental wheel at all. They don't have any weaknesses to those elements, but they don't have any strength to those elements. They are strong against... She's a Quantum type, which means she's strong against other Quantum enemies. So the order goes as follows. Mecha are strong to Biologic. Biologic are strong against Psychic, and Psychic are strong against Mecha. If you ever forget what the wheel is, let me show you here real quick. If you hop into any stage, or if you're fighting at any time, all you gotta do is hit your pause menu. So anytime you pause your menu, you're going to get this diagram here, and you see here is the wheel. Mecha is strong against Biologic, Biologic is strong against Psychic, Psychic is strong against Mecha. Likewise, Quantum is strong against itself, and I'm assuming they're going to add a 5th elemental type at some point But just be aware that if you want a quick shortcut, it's always in your pause menu. Likewise, you also have the skill chart for all the Valkyries that you have equipped. It'll tell you exactly what their combos are. Okay. Next tip for you is called the foot marker. So let me kill these enemies here real quick so I can show you what it looks like. Okay. So anytime you're actually actively fighting enemies and you are not facing them, you're going to have this little indicator around your feet. As you see here, there is a blue arrow and it's pointing to my next objective. Alright. Generally, it will vanish if your objective is in sight, but if it's not, it will show up. Likewise, if enemies are fighting you, the blue arrow will turn orange and it will spawn multiple arrows in your circle to indicate the different directions enemies are coming from. The game does not have a traditional minimap per se, so keep an eye on this indicator. It's also very useful to locate your character when things get a little hectic. But I'm going to show you. So we're going to move forward, and if we turn around, you see now how it turns orange and red. Those are where those enemies are. Likewise, since these are biological units and I'm in a mecha character, it'll indicate up here that I have an up, which is an advantage. If I switch to a character that is the same type, you won't see this. If I switch to something that's weaker, so this is a psychic type, and this is down. So when you're at a disadvantage, you will do 30% less damage. The enemy will do 30% more damage to you. Likewise, if you have a bonus, you will do more damage to them. Alright? So go ahead and keep that in mind. I'm going to go ahead and exit out here. Okay, so my next tip has to do with actual progression. So they've added a wonderful system called Valkyrie Academy, which actually existed in the game in its first iteration. It has since vanished from the tutorial in its entirety. However, it is still accessible, but it's kind of tucked away. So if you click on your cell phone and you move on over, you'll have this here called instructions. All right. It's actually pretty cool because you have a direct link to the Discord, the Twitter, Facebook. The manga is really good. But anyway, so if you click on instructions, you do have some of the tutorials here, but if you click on Academy, you'll have all of these stages. Now, some of these stages are going to be included in the various tutorials, but not all of them. And the beautiful thing about Valkyrie Academy is that it costs no stamina to run the stage. You can actually get crystals, and you can actually get drops. Now, certain things like Ultimate Evasion, since it's a part of the tutorial, you'll actually run through the stage, but not all of these stages are counted in the game's current tutorial. So just remember that that's there. So let's talk about challenges next. And these are, if you've been paying attention to the tutorial, you're going to see challenges show up as well. And to get to that menu, if you go to missions up here in the upper left, this is kind of like your achievements as you play the game. But if you notice in the upper right hand corner, you got a little button, purple button here called challenge. If you click on that, it will actually give you a bunch of objectives that you can do. And some of these will actually pull out of Valkyrie Academy as well. But as you complete them, you'll get emblems, you'll get stigmas, you'll even get Valkyrie Pledge, which is Teresa's battle suit, before you even do her her Chronicle. Likewise, when you unlock Open World, you have a whole set of these to do as well. And these actually give you supply cards, which are used in the gacha stores. Alright, so don't forget about challenges. Make sure you're looking at those. The next tip I want to talk to you guys about is Valkyrie Muster. As a new player or a returning player, this is fantastic. To get to Valkyrie Muster, if you click on Mission, you're going to see it down here It's a limited time offer, and what Valkyrie Muster is that it is a collection of stages that you can do so many times a week that will award you these little Valkyrie Muster cards. You use these cards in the gacha for these supply boxes, and these supply boxes can be a character outright. It can be fragments of multiple characters, which, by the way, Swallowtail Phantasm, definitely make her a priority. Get her. She is a very good quantum character. She's one of two, as well as Stigma and some weapons. When you finish phase 1, you'll move on to phase 2. When you finish phase 2, you move on to phase 3. Okay, and it'll give you missions based on how many other things that you do in the game, as well as bonuses when you level up. Heck, at level 25, it'll give you Flame Sakitama, her weapon, and all of her stigma. So, you know, it's some good stuff here, and it'll give you battle passes. Time swirl passes are absolutely imperative at endgame because you'll use them for bounties. So definitely abuse the Valkyrie Muster system. You'll also have something called Dorm Supply, which is now the way Dorm Supply works is as you run errands with your various Valkyries, you're going to get this currency, work point cards, and you can actually spend them to buy Dorm Supply cards, as well as various Valkyrie eggs. But the Dorm Supply cards are the biggies, because Dorm Supply is actually a discounted gacha. If you go to Supply here under Dorm, so standard gacha or expansion gacha are 2,800 crystals or one card. Dorm Supply is 2,000 crystals, which is significantly cheaper. And these various Dorm Supply cards you can purchase in the Dorm Supply store. When you get to a certain point, you'll also have an option in the gacha for what's called Land of Dreams, and it works very similar to how Valkyrie Muster works. Consider it Valkyrie Muster 2.0, as it were, and Land of Dreams will award you S-rank Valkyries, except you actually do have to spend crystals on it, but it's significantly reduced compared to the regular gachas. Alright, so my next tip is what should you focus on when you start playing? And I cannot stress this enough. You gotta focus on story. You have to focus on story. And the reason for this is twofold. First of all, it is your only source of free-to-play crystals. When you complete the objectives in a stage, alright, so when you complete the objectives, I thought I had hard unlocked, 2-6. When you complete a stage with these challenges, you'll get 5 crystals each, okay? So that's 15 per stage. Likewise, when you finish every single one of those challenges in that particular stage, you'll get 30 crystals. That really adds up, considering that the game has 13 story chapters. There's actually closer to 15 because there's ancillary chapters as well. But when you consider how many stages there are, how many stages are in each chapter, not to mention that there are actually 3 different difficulty settings. Each one of these difficulty settings have new objectives and new rewards. So focus on that, because not only is it a fantastic supply of crystals, but you'll unlock stages that you will be able to do multiple times, up to 3 times a day, for fragments for other Valkyries. Likewise, in your base, you can do expeditions, which allow you to send Valkyries off to clear stages that you have already completed, with a chance to get those materials as well. You can't do all that stuff if you don't have stages completed. So make sure you're focusing on moving through the story. don't so much worry about the various difficulty settings until you get to a certain point where the game won't let you progress because of your level. Then you can go back and start working on your hard difficulty settings to move your captain level up. So this moves into my next tip, which is finding your preferred playstyle. Since this game plays a lot like Bayonetta or Devil May Cry, and I think there's 30 some Valkyries to choose from, Valkyrie battle suits, every single one of these have a completely different playstyle. Okay? So let's take, for example, let's do Fuha. Fuha has 4 different battle suits. Now she's hand to hand, so she's actually somewhat similar, but let's look at Kiana. Kiana has 5 battle suits. Every single one of them plays differently. You have hand-to-hand, close range, you have ranged, you have AoE damage, you have ranged again, and, well, you have overkill. So just remember, because there's so many suits to collect, it's very easy to fall into the trap where you want to collect them all. This game is not like Pokemon. You will get to a point in the game where you will not have the materials or the resources to keep up with every single Valkyrie. So it's much better for you to find a playstyle that you really enjoy and build on that, okay? Let's say you play the new story stage and you absolutely fall in love with Rita, and she's a scythe wielder, and that's like your bag. Focus on that. You know, you'll actually get a Rita from Valkyrie Muster. So once you have a playstyle that you really enjoy, okay, then you want to start looking at building your team around that playstyle, around that character. And building a team is actually pretty simple. The most important thing whenever you're building a team is you need to make sure that you have all your bases covered. Make sure you have a mecha character, a bio character, and a psychic character, and or you know, you can substitute with a quantum character for any one of those roles. Ultimately, you want to have fun with what you're doing, but you want to make sure you cover all your bases, because you're never going to be in a stage where it's only going to be one enemy type. They're going to throw all kinds of different kinds of enemies at you, so you want to make sure that you're able to cover all of your bases. Likewise, you want to have good synergy with your team as far as QTE, but I'll get into that with another video. But for a new player, find the playstyle that you enjoy, focus on that, build that character, and you won't go wrong. Everything else will fall into place, but the only way you're going to be able to find what playstyle you like is you got to play through the storyline. You got to play through the storyline. You got to play through Chronicles, because those adventures will allow you to play pretty much every single Valkyrie that's in the stable. So you can try before you buy, as it were. And my last tip for you guys is save all of your currency. The game does a really good job of giving you things for free, particularly with the Valkyrie Muster. You'll get weapons, you'll get stigma, what have you. The reason why I say save all your currencies is that you have so many different currencies in Honkai 3rd Impact. So if you go to supply, alright, you'll have 3 options. The premium store, which is what you use to spend crystals on, recharge, which is how you buy more crystals, and then shop. Under shop, you're going to have, it's almost like a shopping mall. You're going to have a ton of storefronts. Now, this is a new account, so I'm only showing, you know, 7 of the storefronts. As you continue to play, more storefronts will open. There is about 13 storefronts with their own various kinds of currency. So as you can see here, you've got all kinds of different icons for different currencies, and it's only going to get worse as you play. because the game is designed to make you want to spend money and spend more, it's very tempting to go in here and be like, oh, I've got so much mithril and so much asterite, I'm going to buy a whole bunch of fragments for this character because I want this character. No, don't do it. The reason being is that as you play, your priorities are going to change. And you're going to want to use those currencies for other things, okay? The game supplies you with a lot of free-to-play Valkyries early on. You might get lucky and you might roll an S-rank Valkyrie in the gacha, whatever. But these currencies are really, really important in endgame, and if you squander them early on, you are going to be hating yourself, okay? So hold on to them. I mean, certain things like the Valkyrie Muster shop, you want to spend these currencies because it's limited time, okay? But anything else, hold on to them, okay? Until you absolutely need them. Alright, and don't forget your dailies too. You'll get crystals when you complete all of them. So that's about it, guys. Hopefully this video has been informative and helpful. There's a lot of ground to cover with this game. I will be making more videos. If you would like me to cover a very specific topic, please let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, I hope this overview has been very helpful for you. And I will be putting a printed version of my 10 tips for beginners in the comments section as well. Hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good day.